I'm great. How are you?
Good, good. It's just gonna take me a minute. I'll try and load your EDB for you. And while I do so,
Okay.
who are you? How long have you been working with TalkBee? Tell us all of these things.
I'm Rosane. I'm also South African slash British. I've been working for TalkBee for a year and 3 months now, I think,
Mhm.
and I've been enjoying my experience a lot so far. Yeah, I learned a lot.
Awesome. EDB is looking good for you. I have it all loaded. Does that look right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Let's
Oh,
see.
and I
There we
will give
go.
you
Yeah,
authorization. There you go. Okay,
thank you.
perfect. Take it away.
Great. Okay, thanks, Randy. Okay, so today I'm giving you some advice on assessments. Assessments can be quite tricky because the PPTs sometimes have small pictures and you can't see, or the children go blank when they have to speak 6 to 8 sentences. So I'm going to try and hopefully give you good advice on what you can do to help you run class smoothly. So here we have just my introduction page. Just I'm doing level 5, assessment 3. And I will obviously prepare a good EDB before the lesson, one that you can adapt to different students' levels. So first thing to remember when giving an assessment is you need to know the level of your students, not the level they're enrolled in, but their actual level, because it sometimes is different. So if you have more advanced students, then you can challenge them more, make more challenging games, exercises to review all the material they've learned and to do some of the tests. If you've got lower level, then you can write down more keywords and get more pictures and try and elicit the target language from them more. So here we have the intro page. That's very simple. Here we have review one. It's the very easy one. They were learning about food. And so for this one, it's a nice activity. You can draw what you want and then they have to guess. So if the student is very advanced, then I'll have them write here what they think it is. So if they think it's spaghetti, they'll have to write spaghetti or type spaghetti. They can write here as well if it's not enough space. If it's lower level, then they can just say spaghetti or circle this one. If they can't remember, I'll help them or write it out for them so that they can see. And then it's answer. Yeah, that one's very straightforward. Yes. Also, when giving an assessment, you're reviewing the work they should already know. So try to speak less and try to get them to speak more. Challenge them in this way with all levels, even with the lower levels. See if they can do it themselves before you do it for them. So, for example, you can briefly explain how the activity works. For this one, you can use your dice or your responder. Any teaching tools, they're always great to incorporate into your classes. For this one, you can briefly explain. You will roll the dice and pick one, and then ask the correct question. There are two, so you have to take a look if it's the correct one, and then answer it. And then you just pick two students and see if they can do it by themselves without you helping them repeating questions. That way, you can evaluate them on their interaction with each other as well as their four English skills, so listening skills, reading, writing, what's the other one?
Speaking.
Speaking. And then, yeah, you can evaluate them thoroughly on that. Going down, yeah, this one's very simple here. It's more reading. So you have them read and then find the correct answer. Now, the trick with this one is you can make it as easy or as difficult as you want with this activity. You can ask them to read and then say in a full sentence what animal it is. So it is a tiger or um, it is an elephant. And then you make sure they answer it correctly. If they're not very good, then they can circle and then they can say the word and you can say, well done, moving on. Also take into consideration how much time you have. For lower level students, you might not get to spend as much time on each activity as with higher level. Higher level students might be able to complete the entire activity and still get through the rest of the EDB. But lower level students might only have like one turn each or two turns each before moving on. So take that into consideration. Next here, so this one I changed a bit because the PPT did not say this, it just said they always and then the answer. Whereas when I taught this lesson, they had both here. So I adapted the lesson to the target language I am trying to get them to remember and learn and practice. So don't be afraid to adapt it, adapt the PPT material. As long as you have the same learning objectives and target language, you can challenge them with different answers, different structures if you want, or you can make it simpler if you need it. Yeah, this one's very simple. Also, you can use a game here, and if they are more advanced, they can write in the answers and the questions. Now with the test, this is where people get confused or find difficult. So here they pick any number and you take it out, and then they have to ask. And I've highlighted here the two different ones they have to choose. So they can pick what fruit do you like or what vegetables do you like. If they are advanced, I will tell them these are only examples and they're not allowed to use them. They have to think of their own. If they are lower level, they can say, I like an apple or I like carrots. Yeah, very simple. And then you can do that with all of these, and I've got the answers here. Also, before class, if I see I have an advanced student, then I will take away these and they've got to write in the correct or say the correct ones. And then I've got 3 and 4. Yeah. And then there's some example pictures here to help them along if they need it. And if they don't, then they can get some extra rewards. Very good. And then this one here, oh, this is the same. So you've got your questions for your test. They ask and answer. You try to not help them at all with this one. So they have to read and answer in full sentences all the way through. If they struggle, you can write down keywords or write down the start of this answering sentence, and then they've got to complete it. But if they can do it without your help, that's better. Great. And then this one, test part 2. Okay, this is the one most people struggle with. So they can pick one. And you've got my favorite food, wild animals, birthday party, fun all year. So they pick one of these. And now, as you can see, you cannot really see anything that's going on there. So asking them to speak 6 to 8 sentences seems quite unreasonable. So I redo them. They pick one here. Let's say we did happy birthday. And here it is. So for this one, they can speak about what they see, 6 to 8 sentences, full sentences. If they're very advanced, you can challenge them to do that. If they struggle and they go blank and they're staring at you, then you can ask questions, some of the target language you have taught them over the last few weeks, like, what does he have? He has a present. What are they doing? They are playing a game. Or what do you like? Or what do you do at a birthday party? There are many you can do. Make sure they speak in full sentences. If they struggle or if they answer but it's not in a full sentence, you can write it down here for them the correct way and ask them to repeat it again. Then I ask another student to ask a question because they get so used to answering the questions that they forget how to create their own questions. So I'll drag the student down and ask them to circle any picture they see and to ask any question correctly that they can think of. And if they struggle, I will maybe give them 3 examples. I'll write down 3 examples and then see if they can make their own. If they really struggle, then I'll let them pick one of the example questions by asking the question but still picking their own image and then answering. So it's as simple as that. And then I've got that for all of them here. Fun all year. You've got the different holidays. This one is tricky, I know. Most of them don't know when Easter is or Thanksgiving. So, you can write down or you can use your laser pointer to point and just prompt them along to complete the whole exercise. Once again, this is a speaking activity, so you want them to speak more than you do. So you just try and like point and lots of sign language and try and get them to make their own sentences and be creative with their English. The more creative, the more points they get, and the better feedback you can give to their parents. Here is food as well. Yeah, you've got lots of pictures. PNGs are the best, as you can see. And you don't need to get as many as these. I've already got them, so I go overboard. But if you have like six or eight PNGs, different PNGs, that include the target language that you were learning or teaching. So you got what does he have, or what do you eat for breakfast? What do you want? What's your favorite food? Yeah, think about the language you are teaching them, the questions you are teaching them, and then ask them those kind of questions to encourage them to answer. And then wild animals, yeah, this is also very simple. You've got your habitats, your animals, ask them, where does this animal live? And what can this animal do? Or what does this animal have? At the end, if there is time left, if you have very good students and they complete everything and you've still got time, I always add in an extra game or word search with the vocabulary words they should know by now. Um, and they can do that. And then if you've got more time left after that, you don't have to do this, but you can then, evaluate them in front of them to tell them like how well they did. Ah, you did very good with this. Or, okay, maybe next time try a little harder if they're advanced. Um, Picture because they love drawing and coloring in. And then, yeah, things to remember. Adaptability, like I said, your students have all different individual levels. So make sure when you create your EDB for an assessment class that you have adaptability. You can take things out or add things in quickly enough so that the class still runs smoothly. Supplementary images. I think those are very important with EDB classes, with assessment classes, because of you've got the speaking activity and it's difficult to see everything in the pictures. So supplementary images really help with that. It's an assessment class, so you have to make sure you're checking the students' understanding of the material they have to or should already know, as well as their English level overall. So yeah, check that. Encourage the students to be more creative with their English language and with their questions and answers. And the great way to do that is by creating a good EDB and having lots of images, lots of fun games that encourages them a lot to be more creative. Eliciting the target language, like I said, you are trying to get them to remember and to show you how well they know the material. So you tell them what the activity is about. They've done it before, so they should be able to do it. See if they can. If they don't, write down keywords, write down the start of the sentence, see if they can finish it. And if they really do struggle, write down the full sentence and then read it along with them to help them. Class and tools you can use, Responder, Dice, Small Blackboard. They're all very good for use. You can use the small blackboard for writing. You can just, screenshot an image of a giraffe or a zebra and then ask them, okay, what is this? Who can get it the fastest? Drag up the timer, 30 seconds, and then count down and see, okay, who got it? You spelled it correctly. Okay, great. Very good. Yeah. And this is where you find your class tools. You click there, and then you've got many different class tools there you can use and explore them. See which ones work for you, which ones don't. And yeah, oh, the last thing is feedback. When you give your feedback for each student, it's different to your usual feedback because it's an assessment. So make sure you score them for the four language skills: reading, writing, speaking, and listening. Score them out of 10. Mention how well they are doing or how well they know all the material overall, as well as mentioning specific things they're really good at and things they could improve on. How well they participated, things like that. Yes, things they can practice on more. And yeah, well, what I like to do is also the week before the assessment, I'll write in the comments for the parents, next week is a test. Please revise all the work we've done so far. And then that hopefully will help them to go over it all again so that they feel more prepared for the little test we have. And yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Perfect. Awesome. Okay, so that was fantastic. A couple questions to go over. In terms of an assessment, if it is an assessment class, um, what do you think is the role of games in an assessment class? Would you make time for games in assessment class, or would you save that for other lessons, or how do you view that?
Many times I use the games to review the
Mm-hmm.
material. So I'll have, I know with an assessment it's difficult because, especially with the last part, they take a lot of time. Sometimes I have to leave at least 15 minutes just for the last speaking activity
Mm-hmm.
for them to do so that they don't feel pressured or rushed to complete it. So I will maybe have one game for a review game. So I'll use the material, one of the reviewing parts of the lesson, and then create a game around it, board game or blackboard or something like that. Yeah.
Okay. Nice. And